Hello, this is your math instructor. We talking about these fractions still. Chapter 4, Math 020. We're going to take care of all the operations real quick. I'm going to categorize and mix it up a little bit. So we're doing Chapter 4, Math 020. We're doing add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions. Let's look at the additions part first. We got two fractions where we're adding them. One is negative and one is positive. Now, it doesn't even matter the sign of the large subtract. We'll deal with that later. But we do got to look at the fact that the denominators are different. Now, whenever you add fractions with different denominators, then you got to use what's called the LCD, which is the lowest common denominator. So, 6 and 4, what's the lowest common denominator? How do you find that? Well, you got to find the lowest number that both these numbers hit the quickest. And 6 plus 6 is 12, and 3 fours is 12, so it's going to be 12. Now, you would put the 12s underneath and draw lines on them, then you have to figure out what the numerators be. But how many times would 4 go into 12? 3 times. So what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So I have to multiply 1 times 3, that's how I got the 3 here. Then 6 go into 12 twice, so I have to multiply that by 2, that by 2. That's why I got the minus 10 there. So, minus 10 plus 3 is... Minus 10 plus 3 is minus 7. If you're in the whole 10, you got 3, you still owe 7. So 7/12 is the answer. What about subtracting? Well, this is clearly a negative, and you're taking away something. So you're adding, you got to add and keep the sign negative. Hold on. So you have to add these two numbers and keep the sign negative. But in this sense, since we got to add all this, we can just break the fraction all the way up. The mixed number, we can add the 3 plus 5 and then add the fractions, the 1/4 and the 1/6. So I broke it all up. I said, all right, we're going to add the 3 and the 5 later, but we're going to add the fractions first. When we put the fractions together, that's 1/4 and 1/6, but we know the LCD is 12 once again. So you're going to multiply the top and bottom by 3 on this one, and the top and bottom by 2 on this one, so we'll get 2 12s and 3 12s. Well, 2 12s plus 3 12s is 5 12s, right? And then 3 plus 5 is 8. But remember, the answer is going to be negative because we add the number, keep the negative sign. So it's negative 8, 5 12s. Multiplying two mixed numbers here, so you got to do the orbit thing where you got to multiply 2 times 8, add the 7, put it back over 8 again. I'm sorry, 2 times 8, add the 1, put it back over 8 again. So that's 16 plus 1, 17 over 8. This will be 3 times 4, which is 12 plus 3, which will be 15 back over 4 again. And when you multiply fractions, you typically go straight across if you can't cancel. None of this stuff cancels straight across cancel. So that means you go straight across. So I have to multiply 17 times 15. I did that work over here and got the 255. And 8 times 4 is 32. Now, if they tell you got to change this back in the mix, then you got to do the long division to get the mixed number back. And y'all know how to do that because we talked about that in an earlier snippet. Divide. Well, if you see two mixed numbers, you know you got to change them improper first. And then, so 2 times 5 and plus 1 is 11 over 5. And 1 times 4 is 4 plus 3 is 7. And put that in a negative. Once a negative, always a negative. So the negative slides down. But when you do division with two fractions, it's same, change, flip, right? CSCF, same, change, flip. So keep this the same. Change this to times from division to multiplication and flip this. So instead of 7 over 4, it's 4 over 7. Then you cross cancel if necessary or multiply straight across. What that'll be, in this case, you're going straight across. So it'll be 44 over 35 with the negative, because negative times positive negative. You got to remember your sign rules as well. So there you have it. Add, subtract, multiply, divide fractions. Chapter 4. That's a little short snippet. And we did it all in less than 5 minutes, y'all. All right, take care. Have a good one. See you on the next snippet.